Peace, 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 family. Yeah, yeah. Now we back. Now we black. Now we black. Peace, peace. I'm Rebel with a cause. Welcome to Rebels Roundtable. Peace to the God bodies. What up?
What up? What up?
You, me,
Peace, 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 family. Yeah, yeah.
always us.
Now we back. Now we black. Now we black.
Yeah.
Peace, peace. The Rebel with a cause.
Wherever
Welcome
this
to
is.
Rebels Roundtable. Peace to the God bodies. What up?
What up? What up?
You, me,
Peace, 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 family. Yeah, yeah.
always us.
Now we back. Now we black. Now we black.
Yeah.
Peace, peace. The Rebel with a cause.
Wherever
Welcome
this
to
is.
Rebels Roundtable.
Yeah, yeah. Now we good. Pardon the interruption, man. Cracker wanted to update. They wanted to know where we was at. So I had to tell them real quick.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's getting crazy out here, man.
Ain't nothing to it.
But what's going on, fam?
It's a
I see,
lot going on.
yeah, I see the world going crazy. A few things in the news.
It's a lot in the news.
So let's get it. What's up with Charleston White? I see a list over here.
Yeah, he
We'll just name the list.
to me, you can't keep talking about them Jews, man. You get punished for it.
So you think the niggas jumping them on stage was punishment for the Jews shit?
And I think he just got arrested.
Oh yeah, you right. Was that for animal cruelty? What did I
Yeah, and a danger of possession of a dangerous weapon.
Yeah, you right. If you talk too high, small shit you do, they will acerbate that. Uh,
But you
I
know
saw
what?
real quick. I saw a video of him talking about he was macing cats and shooting dogs and some shit. I don't know. Shit was crazy. Obasi, what you got?
I think it just speaks to what I've been saying since the first introduction to dude. It speaks to the buffoonery. Because, like bro said, you can't keep messing with them Jews. And what I want to burn in our people's minds is why is there a consequence for speaking ill about the Jews? But he can constantly downgrade us and talk about the worst specimens of us and the created nigga monstrosity that we've been turned to. And we can applaud him and say how real it is that he can talk disrespectful. Anybody, look, I can get real disrespectful on here, and we feel like that's the necessary way to deal with each other. Everybody else has consequences. Talk about the Jews, too bad. Talk about the homos and the LBGT, consequence. Talk about the Jews, consequence. Talk about the white boy, consequence. But when it comes to us, it's necessary that you tell niggas that we ain't worth nothing because, like I keep saying, it's like, okay, I always mention the what? Tavistock Institute. And understanding
So,
how we've been socialized to be these things that we talk about. So I think also, and then I just think like it's the buffoon of the fake leader that keep getting pushed upon the black community. Anybody that can come out and say a couple of smart things, now they the new prophets. Now they got the truth, but we still overlooking character. Calling the police on young brothers doesn't fix crime in white America.
yeah, he do a lot of buffoonery. The, the conundrum with him is he do say certain things. That's truth. That's how he tricking everybody. He do touch on some truth, but then he always add that, and the message always gets overlapped with the buffoonery.
All
From
the time.
what I see.
Yeah. Because it's just like, okay, we can look at it and we can say, church pastors say some stuff that touch the heart of the congregation. A pastor can get in front of his congregation and say somebody going through some hard times. Somebody can't pay their bills. And that's real because that resonates in the condition of the environment. So you could be talking to your entire congregation. You could be talking to over half a percent of your population or your congregation that's going through finance. Why? Because white America is steady raising up prices. See, they're creating the environment, and dummies just, when are we going to get past people telling us? All we hear, whether we hear any so-called intellectual Negro, all we hear is them talking about the side effect of racism, white terrorism. But they never really tackle the cause of it. That makes sense?
Yes, sir. Is that the internet wave of the scholars? Because I mean, there's nowhere else to get this information. So you think it's a lot of fake dudes kind of put on the costume and is online fronting like they true conscious?
And we all know the answer to that question. We all know that that's a hell yeah.
Well, the only reason I say that because we all know like somewhat of the big dogs who is accused of it, but there's a lot of I don't want to say little dogs, but there's a lot of regular
underground, like underground kings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like underground kings.
I think
so. That's just, see, but that's just like every tier in every system. It's some dope artists in the underground. So what we always say, hey, it's some dope underground artists that spin that real. Because it's about what will we pay for. And when we say pay, we say the currency. Attention is also a currency. Yeah. You pay attention. Yes, so what is it that we willing to pay for? We like those nigga antics of Charleston White because he probably reminds somebody of a drunk uncle. You know, you almost got slapped the hell out of him because he always going too far. But when you get to the point where, see, like you say, it's a contradiction because I always say to that guy, he's a bipolar cat talking to a bipolar consciousness of people.
Yes, sir.
So you can sit up here, he can tell you there's pictures of him with police badges, uniforms, and we still saying he real and for the people. How is this happening? What are we reading? Are we reading blank pages? How is a cat that's telling you, I'm gonna call the police on you, making millions of dollars off of black attention? And see, that's a double-edged sword because you got to speak on it to kill it. You got to speak on it to show the contradiction in it. But that's why is it a comfortable space for these cats to keep popping up?
Before knowledge take it, I think it's all them other YouTube channels that pay him. Like
right.
Like I looked him up and he's on like 40 different like YouTube channels. Like they paying this dude to talk.
Right.
So I think that's a problem, or it gets exacerbated by everybody's need for attention and views. So whether it's good or bad, they're gonna want like a piece of it. So it's gonna grow. People gonna pay to see it, good or bad. Knowledge. You was gonna say something.
I was gonna say, it's just what they feeding the people, man. You know, and what they feeding the people is entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on our behalf, or is it on their behalf, or is it also based on us being in the public eye in the news? Consistency is everything when you're dealing with a people who've been robbed and who move about with a seriousness of them not paying attention to what's going on and what the plan is. We off code. We've been off code. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of stuff need to be addressed. A lot of stuff need to be addressed publicly, but we need enough of us collectively to attack these situations that we have going on social media, as well as in our community. We can't keep passing the buck. We can't keep saying this, that, and the third. What we got to do is we gotta stick together and, like Obasi say, you know what I'm saying, call it for what it is. It's buffoonery, you know. And since they got us with a spirit of entertainment, a spirit of foolishness, and we not taking our own culture seriously, then we get caught up in the mix. How Charleston White move in the same way. He feels as if he has a platform of telling the truth, but at the same time speaking on certain issues that other people sometimes won't speak about, but he does in a negative fashion. He calls out certain people that most people, some people on the internet won't call out. You know, he calls out some Bloods, he calls out some Crips, but it's always something when you start talking about these people who are supposed to be the so-called righteous ones. These people are not righteous. It's been proven and proven again. They have stolen our ancient knowledge, our sacred knowledge, and the oldest sacred knowledge is coming from the pyramid text, which has nothing to do with these so-called people that they say are the chosen ones. And I tell many people, how the heck are you chosen when the star in the sky does not belong to you and one of your chosen ones wants to block out the sun? That does not sound like that you are chosen. It sounds like that you are at war with nature. Clearly, the chosen ones are friends of nature. But, you know, as far as Charleston White, man, you know, it's about due time. He didn't have a few instances where he have actually won, and I can actually say that as far as like being in the public. And a lot of us get caught in a buffoonery as well. You know, he didn't hit somebody on the top of the head with something. He just showed all his guns on YouTube. He has he talk about some issues that need to be addressed. He makes some valid points, but those are just his opinions. All he did was make his opinion go viral. That's all he does. He makes his ignorance go viral. And you just said it, Rebel. He's on so many stations and channels, and that's how he get paid as far as his royalties and stuff like that. His numbers is up, but now he has a bigger issue at hand because it was just reported to me when I got home this evening that he has been arrested for animal cruelty and having a dangerous weapon. Let's see how he handles that. Now, I will say this, he is a smart person. So knowing him, he might lay low for a second, or then again, he might not. He might just talk about it. Everything has to be talked about on social media. One thing I can say about them making social media, we run to it. Black people need to start running we run to social media about everything. You know what I'm saying? Any little thing we do, we run to social media. We put our business out there. So it's not hard for the Wazungu to keep up with us. It's not hard for the Wazungu to trick us and mess us up because we always in a lower vibrational frequency and we always reacting out of our lower chakras. And once it hits the pituitary gland, we are zombified. Simple.
That's a triple fact. Big up to Lee Clinton in the chat. Salute.
Yo.
Speaking of the Jews, the fake Jews, due to the war, you know, the Palestinian war, a lot of Jews is online saying that y'all blacks are the real children of Israel.
Yeah, I've been seeing the videos. I've been seeing them.
What y'all think about that?
It's too late.
Yo. What you mean by that?
It's too late. Huh?
What you mean by that?
All right. Like I just got to talking about the frequency, and we can get into to the vibration. And Shaka Sankofa says many things about frequency in so many ways, which he doesn't even know that he says it. Even if he does know, we all speak about it. Our people is such a low state. If you tell us that we are kings and queens, we are gods, how many of us are going to truly evolve? If you tell me that I've been beat down, robbed of everything, we've been robbed of real mathematics, real science, we've been robbed of our real tongue, we've been robbed of a lot of stuff. How can you, just by they saying now, oh, you're the chosen Jews, and then they flying planes over there to ancient Kush, ancient Kosh, going to get the so-called Jews and saying that they have the same DNA. It's impossible for Wazungu to have the same DNA as far as lineage as it is for someone who is privy to being in the sun. It's impossible. The only way that happened is something that we don't do as far as the lineage of presidents. We don't sleep with each other. We don't sleep with each other cousins and first cousins and stuff like that. That's not our history.
Yeah.
So it's just bad. So even if they say, yo, you're the chosen one, what does that mean? How many of us are going to react in that manner?
Exactly.
Where we're going to be chosen? How many of us are going to have some form of respect for ourselves? And I keep saying this, Obasi said it too, and Brother Shaka has said it too. When a race disrespects the women, then the civilization is on a decline. Bad.
Okay.
Simple.
I look at it with that same lens. Like, okay, by that admission, what does that do for us? That's why us as a collective, however we want to identify ourselves, because I think we suffer from such an identity crisis that we get stuck on their admittance of you're the real Jews. So you'll see a ton of clips that see they say we the real Jews. What does that do? And I think a more deeper question that we have to ask is, how are we as Black people, African people, Hebrew, whatever you want to be, how are we being developed here in this Western society? So like, okay, like Brother Knowledge just said, if we always looking at a negative outlook or image of us, he said, like, okay, like he said, raise the vibration. Who are the high vibrational brothers and sisters right now that's really out there, that's really being pushed? Because we see, okay, the development come into like who's shaping you. So if Kevin Samuels shaped a big percentage, whether we like their rhetoric or not, if he shaped a big percentage of Black male consciousness, Charleston White shaped a percentage of Black male consciousness. Now, all of this is lower vibrational that attributes to that battle of the sexes, where we live in that space of our women ain't this. Again, talking about the side effect of Western society instead of the reality of it, instead of the cause. So it's like, who are the ones? We're not talking about the RIZZ Islams. We're not talking about them because they in the Scientology. So where are and that's the thing, we don't want to really have real conversations. I think we just want Black feel good rhetoric, like church. We just want that good old Sunday feeling. We're gonna say, hey, you know, such and such gave a good, he got 1 million views. But what did that do for the development of us? How did that further us out of this condition? If we talking about how our women are so out of pocket, don't that mean we out of pocket? I see so many brothers on these, I can't even say brothers, so many of these dudes on these. And when I say red pills, I'm not talking about the dudes that was inside nettles. I'm talking about the red pill that they have that teach this manosphere type stuff. Again, still talking about the development. How are we being developed in America / Western? Because if we say we Black Americans, what is the consciousness of a Black American? Is that making sense what I'm saying? How are we being developed? Okay, look in the 60s. We whether we like King or not, a lot of people disrespect King, which I feel like had to stop. But you had Malcolm. In the 70s, you had the Panthers. You had higher vibration image of Black people. Where are those images? Where are those real ones that's on mainstream? We're not talking about the underground kings because they smother us. The ones that really do the damage. Okay, you got a multitude of ways to be a Black man in America. Thug, sellout, homo. Then you got the stand up. Where's the place for the stand up brother? We see how they treated Kyrie Irving. We see how they treat a brother that say no to their vaccine, that say no to their system. Who's shaping our young men? We got a bunch of young men that's on the corner that need identity. And that's one thing, okay, speaking to that Cam Newton and Charleston White interview, that's one thing I did. Because didn't we talk about Deion Sanders on here? I know we talked about him on our Wednesday. But when I talked about Deion Sanders, people thought I was hating on Prime.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's the sellout. He took 92% of black boys into Colorado, and then guess what we're gonna do to them black boys? Laugh at them when the white girl take them down. But their hero took them into that. He took them out of the. We want to run from the hood so bad that we'll run to Boulder, Colorado, that damn near lets Kobe Bryant. Where are the higher functioning men? The men that's showing it's cool to love your wife. We got people on there trying to talk about how we don't need. All of these are functions of our dysfunction while we are out of our minds, while we got black dudes in dresses. Because our homes been destroyed since when? The 60s, the 70s? Really since they touched down with us in Kemet or wherever they invaded in Africa. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a loaded bomb because that's what they hit us with. We drive past. See, what I don't like about that Jigaboo Charleston White, because when you talking about the rapper and the dope and crack cocaine was synonymous. They had to give you that cool image. But crack cocaine destroyed families. Had mothers willing to sell that, and who brought it into the community? We never know how to point the finger at the culprit because they always making us think it's our fault. The condition made no smoke crack. So when we're talking about Jews, to answer the question, when we talk about Jews, yeah, they talk about that blip. Yeah, they talk about their so-called Holocaust, but we still being Holocausted, if that's a word.
Thanks.
We still being Holocausted right now. Anytime our boys are comfortable in dresses, where the strong men at?
Ain't on the internet. You are on 1,000,000%. I agree with all of that. Shaka, what you got for us?
Peace. First of all, peace and blessings to y'all, brothers. Y'all
Oh,
guys.
gee.
What's going on?
Peace,
Well, when knowledge touched on it, and when you look at Kemet to where we at today, and if you look at the colonization and the misconceptions and miseducations of our people, when it all snowballs down, our people have been beaten mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically into submission, where they're not even willing to step outside the box. Even though the majority of our people know what the play is and know that they're being played and know that they are under a one world order as well as colonization, but they have saw so many of our so-called leaders and great leaders being taken down with no type of response or no type of retaliation. The people are just going along to get along now, to the point where they've placed so many different holocausts, crack being one of the greatest ones, holocausts, because we're still dealing with the residue in terms of the generation, our children and grandchildren, which are the residue of this Holocaust. Because all of us, if you lived in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, you've been affected by it one way or another. Whether your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your brother, yourself, whether you were a distributor and developed a habit of poisoning the community, or whether you was just so under oppression and suppression and depression that you became a consumer. And that devastation has not been addressed. And that's one of the tools that have beaten us in submission, along with mass incarceration. We've never responded. Because it seemed like the bite has been taken out of a lot of the black men. And so now that revolutionary mindsets, black liberation, black independence, black emancipation has literally been swept under the rug, and money has been used as a replacement and a tool for survival and a tool for success that our people have engulfed themselves and been tranquilized and hypnotized into thinking that's a major achievement to have some paper. This is where you see the people, this is where all this gender switching, this is where all these dudes wearing dresses and all this bullshit. And I personally have come to a conclusion that everybody, some of us are so entrenched in colonization that there's no type of, there's no coming back with these people. And then you have the so-called conscious coons, the conscious coons that, you know, that sell out lectures, book signings, go all over the country, spilling rhetoric. And you know that they are under that umbrella because there's never been no death threats. They've never been shut down. They're allowed to push these agendas and this propaganda to keep us separate. This is why now you have, when you look on the whole spectrum, you got people saying that now you got black, excuse my line, you got black motherfuckers saying it was only 19 slaves on one ship. From 60 million to 19. Now all of a sudden everybody was born here.
But
Everybody
you
was
see that?
born,
You see, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
and see, this is the divide and conquer. If you read Zbigniew Brzezinski's and Henry Kissinger's referendum agendas, they said that the greatest threat to white genetic survival and white genetic annihilation is urban unrest, the black urban guerrilla. And see, after the 60s, when they dismantled, separated the Panthers, lied on the Panthers, had them beefing against each other, then they infiltrated them. Because a lot of these Panthers from the 60s that we give all these honors to, a lot of them was sleeping with white women too. So, you know, let's be clearly honest about that. Yep. You know, be clearly honest. You know, we raise our fists and we honor these people, you know, but they done great works. You know, for instance, Geronimo Pratt, who was locked up all this time, then Tupac paid Johnny Cochran to get him out. But Geronimo Pratt swore on his Marine oath that he wouldn't rock the boat no more if he was released. And a lot of people see, our people are not thoroughly educated on that, because what they do is they'll hypnotize us with entertainment. You know, just buck dancing, sports, whopping, twerking, trap, drill, demon time. And you already have a black youth that's already angry from being abandoned, being in foster care in group homes as a result of the parents being casualties of the crack holocaust.
Yeah.
Yet they become angry when they see their mother turning tricks at night and walking the street, when they got roaches and roach eggs in the cereal, rats and mice and all types of infections, and, you know, brothers and sisters running all in and out of the house. You know, their little children, their little sisters been touched. This creates a rage in these black youths. So they have no respect for the elders. They have no respect for the older brothers that are out in the community. And they have a concrete distrust, even for those who come through under the auspices of trying to get the black youth to stop violence. No. And we look at them today as they so demonic, and the media influences the masses of our people to look at every black youth like he's a goddamn enemy. You know, and we're not in the hood, we're not in the trenches addressing that. And so you don't see all these so-called scholars and lecturers and all these, oh, I'm the magnificent so-and-so and I'm the greatest thing since Garvey and all this bullshit. You know, that they come, you don't never have no record of them in the trenches. There's no record of them doing any food distribution, any clothing distribution. It's always these drive-by lectures to keep our people under illusion their hope is possible without fucking work, without fucking bloodshed, without stepping to the enemy. And we never hold the gatekeepers. We never hold designers. We never hold them accountable, the record owners. You know, Jimmy Iovine, Ted Fields, Clive Davis. We never hold them accountable. But we want to look at the end result of what the puppet masters push the agendas. These are the agendas that they push. And so the brothers like yourselves, man, have to work overtime, double time, triple time, you know, and then trying to raise a family and then trying to be beacons of hope and light to those that are still out here suffering, you know, as a result of being residue of various holocausts, and not just crack cocaine, physical, sexual, mental, all sorts of abuses, man. You know, and they have lost trust into, to confide in older people because of what may happen to them. Because they have a history and a negative experience of trusting those that's supposed to be protecting them. And then so you get these Charleston Whites and you get all these goddamn clowns and these court jesters, you know, to keep us entertained. And, you know, you never, how many times do you see people going against the machine on social media? It's always somebody that looks like them. It's always somebody that looks like them. It's never no solid, foundational, fundamental education, no channels for young black men, you know, because no revolutionary rap, no conscious rap, you know, none of that's allowed to give our people some hope, to give our people a shot at their own personal redemption. That's why the masses of our people gonna perish, man. And we gonna have to be comfortable with that. You know, if you watch that movie, what is it called? Leave the World Behind. You know, the smartest person in that movie was Kevin Bacon. Because he had, everybody thought he was tripping because he was going to the Walmart every day getting canned goods, medicines, waters. He kept constantly doing that. And so when everything falls down, then they come knocking on his door. And that's just how I'm going to be. I don't give a fuck if you 75, 80 years old, you had plenty of time to do the same shit I'm doing. Get the fuck off the porch before I take this jump and punish your ass with it. It's gonna come down to another civil war. This is a precursor of the Civil War because Biden really wants to do this in hopes that it can kind of enhance population control. So if you eliminate Trump, you're gonna get all the white supremacists, all the Aryans, all the right-wing conservatives, you're gonna put them in rage. And those of us who don't understand what's going on, because they got a lot of us thinking that Trump is the ultimate devil, you know, when Biden is the worst president since Woodrow Wilson. He is the worst scumbag piece of shit since Woodrow Wilson. And you got Roland Martin and all the Democrats that sit there and push these agendas. Y'all better get out here and vote. You better get out here and vote. And there's no, I think Knowledge had spoke on that. Israel or him or you or Rebel spoke on it. I don't give a damn about that shit because there's no recorded history. There's no recorded history in mankind of anybody ever aiding us in our fucking colonization, in our enslavement on any level. There's never been no aid from nobody else. We have always had to deal with these situations, these crises, these holocausts, and these tragedies on our own.
I think it go like to you saying, like you pointed out, Roland Martin. And see, a lot of that what you're tapping on is what the question that I was talking about, how are we being shaped? So people are, and me and Ken was speaking on this earlier, that exactly what you're saying, how they got most of the media got them trained, how they just see Trump as the white there. Listen, before we say that, because you always have to get these silly disclaimers, because if you say you understand some of their policy, people automatically think you're a Trump supporter. And I think if anybody done heard my voice long enough, they know how I feel about Westerners. But at the same time, like you said, Joe Biden is one of the worst ones. And I think that's how we want to be lulled to sleep. We want to be made to seem like it's okay. Okay, you got the outspoken devil out. So now let's get the good one in who brought a blackish woman in to pacify us. Because we still thinking, we still want that black representation. So when we need it as stand-up, non-compromising brothers and sisters that create non-compromising children. So in that movie, you're right. Kevin Bacon was the one that was the smartest one. And this is how I think of it too, because I said, okay, we have to start thinking in real reality, because that's gonna be the short time when everybody wake up. OG, it's like when you in a crisis like that. Now everybody is forced. You woke up out of your sleep. You started up out of your sleep, but nobody's gonna be prepared.
Nobody.
Because for all this time, everybody been being entertained. Charleston White, Emma Johnson, all the distractions that kept you from seeing this, because not many of us really had an understanding of the download to really see what's going on. And a lot of people thought because Barack Obama had a hand in that was good. But Joe Biden is just an extension of Barack Obama and vice versa.
Right.
So they're showing you this is predictive programming.
Yeah. And see, one thing I learned in commerce is fraud is acquiesce. And one thing I also learned in commerce is they have to tell you the truth. There's a certain form of carnality with these people that so-called run the world. And knowing that they have to tell you the truth, but they don't have to directly tell you the truth. I learned that up under Admiralty Maritime Equity Law, because that's why they got so many books. Like we look up words in a Webster's dictionary. They use a Bouvier's law dictionary or a Black's law dictionary, and they tell you that like the judge sits on a bench. Bench in Latin means bank. They speak in a different language, and they some shape, form, or fashion is trying to prepare you for something that is going to happen. It may not happen today. It may not happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen in some time that you need to be prepared. Now you know what I noticed here in Georgia? They have a gun show here almost every weekend somewhere here in Georgia.
Wow.
And when you go to these gun shows, they telling you to get survival bags. They telling you buy the ammo. They telling you go take you some gun classes. They telling you you meet a lot of people who like learn to live off the grid. These things are happening for a reason, to somewhat prepare you for something that's going to happen. And I tell anybody, if you're not in my circle and I don't directly deal with you, if something happened, don't come knock on my door. because I'm going to treat you just like the Wazungu. I'm just being for real. Obasi know this, Rebel know this, Shaka know. I'm not playing. Even Ken know this. They know this. That's something I don't play. And the crew I'm in, I say, man, y'all get y'all at least 3 to 6 months worth of water. Have 300 rounds for every weapon that you have. Buy you a vest. Make sure you got you a sidearm. Make sure you have some form of survival skills. Have a map of your area. They steady giving you these movies for a particular reason. Don't watch everything for entertainment. It's time out for being entertained. We've been entertained so much. We wake up, want to be entertained. We go through the day looking for entertainment. I seen a lady driving today as I was on my way. As I was on my way to work. She watching. I saw her. I looked in her car. She all on social media on her phone. That's a problem. When you can't drive, you need to be entertained. You being zombified. There's different ways to be a zombie in society where you are completely untapped and untouched with the real reality of life. If something was to happen, they're going to be running around, rapping. I'm not running nowhere. I'm going to pop the trunk. I'm going to pop my trunk because I keep my side on me all the time. I'm going to grab my survival bag. I'm going to grab what I got in my trunk, and I'm going to start walking. Whoever want to follow me, that's on you. I hope you have some supplies. Other than that, I have somewhere I have to be. And it's called high ground. Learn your area. These people crazy, like Shaka mentioned in the movie. The smartest person in the movie was the man who was prepared. And he knew what was going on. We got to stop being so untouched and untapped with real reality and pay attention to certain signs. You know what I'm saying? People don't look at no signs. We worried about the rappers. We worried about the wrong thing instead of unifying together and trying to make some sense out of everything. Set our differences aside. Set all these religions aside. Unify together. When the dust clear, then we can decide if we Kemet, if we Nubian, if we Kush, if we Islam, and all of this. Let's dust them up first. Then when the dust clear, we can decide.
You're right. Because I never seen when they stormed the Capitol, they didn't have a line for the Catholics and the Klan and the Jews. They didn't do none of that. They knew they had one thing in common, man. And see, this is where we sit. Go ahead, old boss.
No. I was just going to say no. I was just going to say that's the question we have to ask. What do we want as a collective? Because when we say come together, we have to have a common goal. See, that common goal was white insurrection, as they call it. American pride, however you want to chop it. This is what I also look at, because I looked at their levels of weapons that they used in that movie. The sound rays that they was able to use that had effects on people. And this is one of those things, because how else we were holocausted? We were holocausted by those vaccines. Okay, there was a movie, it's on Prime, it's a series called Utopia. And Utopia centers around that. I even shared a clip to where they were showing that the powers that be, the government, whoever they government, we know who giving out these jabs. They were forcing people to be jabbed. See, it's the same thing. Like Nod is saying, they giving you all of this stuff because they got to show you what's coming first, and then they followed up with those jabs. So I say that to say that we even got to be more thoughtful and strategic, because I think in hindsight we got to really understand how prepared are we. Because okay, for us, we didn't take the jab, but let's just imagine that they have, because we don't know. I don't care what them knuckleheads, I don't care what they say about how good those vaccines are. Nobody knows, because you are the case study. The people that got these things in them, you are the case study. So let's just say that they have a side effect that the government can use those same type of sound weapons. Let's just say, who's to say that there's not a tracking device in those vaccines? We were so sure because they swayed the people's minds and made them go get it. Because when people are scared, they can't think. A lot of people just want to take it because they say, I just want to travel, even though they never went nowhere. A lot of people took it just because it don't matter why you took it. The fact is they got you to take it and put it in your body. Now, is that so? I'm saying this to say that I always feel like I'm gonna be like, I have that Kevin Bacon mentality too. Because if you got that jab, I don't even know if I want you around me because from what I've seen, yeah, I'm a tracking device. Now that can be conspiracy, that could be alleged, however you want to chop it. Read for yourself. Don't. Who said that? Who'd say?
I say I doubt it if it's a conspiracy.
You know what I'm saying? However they want, because it's like, again, we always looking for somebody to tell us what to do, what to feel, instead of looking. You use your own discernment on why would they give you a free vaccine so much that they was using celebrities, using Tom Brady. Hey, come get you an autographed Tom Brady football. Get the vaccine. They used Michael. They used all their puppets. They used all the gatekeepers that OG talked about because it's one big circle. If Cardi B had to put on a benefit concert to get you to come out there and get that jab, they was gonna do that by all means. So
Same
we don't
way
even.
with the.
Go ahead, OG.
I ain't mean to cut your wisdom,
No,
but
you
it's
good.
the same way with the FEMA camp. They're gonna do the same thing, man. Have it's for your own good, it's for your own safety. The terrorists are coming. They have Lil Wayne and the Baby, big ass concert, and everybody yelling USA and all this bullshit while all the trucks are lined up, getting ready to take them to their own execution. It's just it's a lot of times you can see these plays because our people are under a serious spell work, man. A serious spell work, man. I never seen black men in my entire life with such a high coward frequency, man, and a level of self-hatred. We've gotten that sick where we've gotten comfortable and conditioned to killing women, killing little children, setting elders on fire, and all this. Now, that's also a combination, whether people want to accept it or not, of them jabs. Because when you thoroughly investigate that, you will find that some of those ingredients that were in those jabs were also medicines to treat rabies. And so this is why you have all this bizarre behavior. People gutting each other out, walking down the street, eating their organs and all this type of stuff. This type of insanity has never existed. And this is just a part of an agenda to not only push that, but to feminize black males, to feminize their energies, to control them. They can't control you. They're going to incarcerate you. They can't incarcerate you. They're going to try to exile you. They're going to run smear campaigns, but they're going to use people that look like you and I to do it. They're going to look just like you and I to push these agendas. Now, it's a situation where, a lot of these people, I think y'all mentioned Charleston White and Diddy and all these freaks, but and now they're using these pastors, TD Jakes, and all of them are hanging up on a sexual predator's compound. You're supposed to be a bishop and all of this, and this is the influence and the hypnosis that these charlatans have our people on. Same in the so-called conscious community. The same exact thing in the conscious community. So we can't knock the church when the so-called conscious leaders are performing in the same way, getting the same results. You give the people false hope, you bleed the poor, and you leave them hanging. And then you criticize them when they step out the box of questioning. It's the same exact thing. So and now you need to do a lecture, man. You need to do like a 3-hour lecture, man. A 3-hour lecture, a Q&A, man, to break all that break all those sciences and stuff down, man, because a lot of people need to hear that type of dialogue. They need to hear that type of information, man, because it's important, man. You know, so
Oh, let me ask
you know, go ahead, Ralph.
Now you got it, OG. This for you or anybody, because what y'all all saying. Let's bring it back. This shit powerful. Since our people is weaning all on the internet and sucking the titty under the spell, correct? Is the internet the new crack?
Yeah.
It's a new fentanyl.
To the
Yeah.
same level,
Yeah.
to the same
More
level
lethal.
of damage before y'all eat it up. To the same level of damage, can we see the internet being the window to all of these theories, all of this information, all of this incorrect knowledge and vibrational imbalance? Is the internet, the access to it, you see what it's doing? Is that the new crack?
Yeah, it's the new crack. Real quick, speaking what Brother Shaka said, we're gonna set that up in the future, Shaka. I've been actually preparing myself to do a lot of things. Me and Obasa be doing a lot of research. So it's just by you saying that, I know it's time. Is social media the new crack? When I say in the Shaka, I'm talking about the lecture.
Yes, sir.
Where social media is the new crack. Yes, I'm gonna tell you why. People are addicted to it. It's a scientist. He proved by you holding your phone and you always like this, you have developed a whole nother, I forgot what it's called, almost like a bone in your neck that tilts your head. A typical figure of you being unbalanced. A typical figure you being unbalanced 365 days out the year. And then iPhone, I don't know if Android does it, but I have an iPhone. It tells you your addictiveness by telling you your screen time is more than likely you might be 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day. That's a lot of screen time, depending on what you're doing, on that screen. And a lot of people stroll. They take the phone and they stroll. They stroll. They stroll. They stroll. They stroll. They stroll. No one is using the smartphone, is being smart, if you know what I mean. Use the phone you can use it for reading. If you don't like to read, do audio books. But you got to stay off these memes and reels of getting partial information. Yep. And I'm going to say this just like this. All of us on here are well read. All of us on here have been through something and overcome it. Have we got it out the mud, bricks and the sticks? Yes. Have we got it out the trenches? Yes. But one thing about us four on here, and I'm saying this because I know we are well read. Well read. Well read. That means I pick up a book and I read it. Simple as that. The YouTube degrees, the Facebook certificates, these TikTok diplomas. I speak about it all the time. That's not knowledge. That's not knowledge. You taking bits and pieces of information from reels and YouTube shorts and all of this, and then you forming some form of ideology about something. And I'm with Shaka with this. Now they saying America is Africa. Let me say this. I'm gonna say it on here because one thing for sure,
that's the whole crap pipe
I'm getting tired of it, and the big old hole has been opening up, and I'm gonna be quiet. All these dang Callaway followers. I'm gonna just say this, man. If you think America is Africa and all of that type of stuff like that, that's cool. That's cool. But I'm gonna say this: we are people that has been around more natural resources than anything. America does not have a lot of natural resources. And this is for the dang Callaway people. Think about this. If America had a lot of resources, why the hell is everybody in America, these top politicians, when they retire, they take their ass to Africa? They robbing Africa dry, point blank. We are children of the sun. It's in every book. It's in a lot of ancient texts. It's in the pyramid text. It's in the coffin. It's in the coffins. It's in all these texts. We came here. We left landmarks. We left the book. And I ask you people who say you indigenous to America. That's cool. Whatever you said. Give me your creation story. Give me your first language.
And don't dance around.
Give me your alphabets. What did you guys write? What did you write? Give me something. Because to me, when you saying all of this, you present all this paperwork that someone has pretty much doctrined together. But guess what? Kemet left landmarks, left monuments. We wrote on the walls. We wrote in stone. We left it everywhere. I have not yet to find nothing that you guys left besides arrowheads.
And not only that, because that's lethal. Give me your worldview. Give me your worldview, because so when we understand Africa has an entire different worldview. Where Western society, they see themselves above their woman. African culture, we see compliments. For Mayat, there's a Tahuti or Dehuti. So you see the polarity. This is why we are a balanced people. Because see, like you said, these knuckleheads want to say all of this stuff without no real understanding.
None.
Because this is scholarship, to where you're putting up pieces and there's just an argument. And like the question when Rebel asked about, when he said about them admitting that we are the Jews. Again, okay, let's just say in some bizarre world knowledge that America is Egypt. Let's just entertain that. What does that do? How does that because what they would never answer to me is, how does the Black American and the white American differ? Because if you all are Americans, you have the same worldview, you have the same culture. What makes Black Americans different in their ideology and their way of thinking, if that makes sense? And don't dance all around knowledge question. Don't answer his question with a question, because we know y'all like to do that. Answer his question with an answer. Simple as that. Don't dance around. Don't be all in the TV talking about what your grandmama not here. Okay? If your grandmama here, bring your grandmama too. We'll listen to what she got to say.
Hold up, Obasi. The grandmama thing. I'm gonna say this and be quiet. You listen to your grandmother because she tell you Cherokee and all of this. I'm not negating none of that. You might be. That's true. But all this stuff about America being Africa is being flipped, the Europeans not telling no truth, but the Europeans are running rapid, making money out of Africa left and right. You know what I'm saying? They taxing the people here because there are no natural resources for them to tax here. And then you listen to your grandmama, and your grandmama go to church. So your grandmama is a sanctified, saved Indian. That don't sound too good, homie.
Right. And also, when you look back on our greatest scholars in recorded history, they never mentioned none of this. So it's only common sense that all of a sudden, from Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben, all of these great scholars, they talked about African civilization, George G.M. James, all of these great scholars that they came through, George Jackson, all of these great scholars. And then all of a sudden in the new millennium, now we Indians.
Because that's that
we
crack
Indians
that
now.
Talked about.
But I think it's geared towards propaganda.
Yes.
For the prevention of Pan-Africanism.
Yes.
Because you see, it's to turn one against the other. And so to turn us against Africa, the greatest continent on the planet with the resources and the cradle civilization where we were birthed at, and then they break it down to that it was 13 goddamn slaves.
You see
You know,
this?
that pisses me off sometimes to hear that. You know, one ship, a goddamn canoe with 13 dudes on it, and that was slavery. Come on, man.
And you know what else it does, OG? It lessens the brutality of the Westerner or the white boy. It lessens the brutality because it makes you look at it as, oh, it wasn't even that serious. What you mean it wasn't that serious? When people were being raped, maimed, we don't understand because the self-hate it makes them not want to look at that. Because okay, let's just dig how they taught us indirectly in school, what they call African booty scratcher. It was already embedded in us to see Africa through a negative light. African booty scratcher. Oh, you got that nappy African hair. Oh, I'm Indian. I got that good hair. Because they programmed your mind to see it as ugly, undesirable. Like in the movie, in the original, D.W. Griffin, he wrote it. The Klansman D.W. Griffin, Birth of a Nation. In the original Birth of a Nation, look at how they portrayed black people. Now that's them in whiteface, in blackface. Look at them as how they portrayed us as savages. We in certain places eating chicken with our feet off, with our shoes off, uncivilized. So this is post-traumatic slave disorder. This is the syndrome right here. That we see everything with Africa ugly. But
and it was passed on.
But everything else is beautiful. Oh, we know how many Africans do we know? How many girls named Africa do we know growing up? Did we know growing up? But we knew China, we knew Asia, we knew London. We knew all of these all of these. You wanted though now. My name India. And if you were African, if your name was Africa or something, you were made fun of. See that's not. See, they don't know enough. These people that knowledge talking about, they don't know enough. Because the technology is to play you up out your spirit, to play you up out your spirituality. Because this is a spiritual warfare, real demons. You just said it, OG, demon time. Listen to these words. But they minimize the spirit or the lack of spirit of that beast.
Well, the movie's done it too, you know, because if you look back in the 30s and 40s, you had Tarzan and how they depicted Africans, our African ancestors. And so it's been carried on all the way through Warner Brothers and the cartoons, you know, and this stuff has perpetuated, and we have co-signed it. Our people have actually co-signed it. And so this is what I'm saying, just like when Rebel was talking about the internet, you know how much work it would take in the process of actually annihilating all this false propaganda, all this buffoonery, all this bullshit, you know, and then to without any type of interference from these globalists, to be able to lay a platform down of unity. See, you know, by us being disunity, see, they promote that. As long as Hassan Campbell and talking about blowing people's snap boxes and all this bullshit,
and the TV
as long as
it's very disrespectful.
And it goes into the sports. You got Stephen A. Smith, you know, Candace Owens and all these other people, you know, that dumb down black athletes, you know, and they know that they're binded to certain contracts, you know, and they can't respond like they really want to. And so when you get a Kyrie Irving, when you get a Mahmoud, when you get Craig Hodges, you know, people that really going to stand up, see, and they use our people to condemn them. Look how LeBron and all them turned on Kyrie. Everybody turned on that man. You know, and that was a hell of a lot of weight.
Look at the energy of that, OG. Like, slow down right there. Look at just build on that what you said, man. Because look at the energy of Kendrick Perkins that they use. Stephen A. Smith, that they use to attack Kyrie. First, when he said no to the vaccine, everybody came after him. Look it up. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said he should be thrown away, have his money taken away. Shaq threatened to fight him in the locker room. He said, if he's a teammate of mine, we get into a fight. You got to sacrifice. Sacrifice your body. Put this in here. Take that chip. And they use them personalities. Personality worship. That's the crack pipe right there. Rebel X was social media the new thing. Yeah, because it's a constant hit. It's a constant dopamine hit.
That's what I'm saying. So just like if it was real crack, picture it in reverse. If it was real crack and everybody mostly is on crack, you think they're gonna give up crack for our community rise for the betterment of the collective?
No.
No.
That's just another tool Active crack addiction is a tool used as escapism from reality. It's a tool used to smother and eliminate temporary trauma. Temporary. And so that's how social media is. Like when Knowledge was saying, when the lady was driving and watching the internet while she was driving. Now, if she left her phone in Walmart, she would have went through a whole withdrawal period.
Yes, sir.
Because her mind wouldn't have been on, staying between the two dotted lines driving. Her mind would have been on where's her stem at, where's her pipe at.
Where that pipe at?
Now also in that movie, Obasi, you might want to put a picture up, because when we look at you on YouTube, it sounds like I can't. It look crazy. I just put up an image or something like that. But I just wanted to say also in the movie, look at the product of social media and TV. The little girl wanted to see the finale of Friends.
Out of all the chaos and death.
Out of all the chaos.
Right.
Listen, that was a key point right there, because we have let social media, TV, educate our kids.
But see,
educate our kids.
You're right, dog. And look, link it back to the crack, because how many parents ignored their children for a hit of that crack? Baby crying in the room, no love. They got that stem in their hand, though. And also, like, something that I felt like it was a key point to our friendliness, because look, this is where it goes to understand that our friendliness is going to be the downfall. Because number one, Julia Roberts was the white woman from the start. You in his house and you don't trust him, because you label him as a criminal, because that's just how they see us, thanks to movies like Birth of a Nation. But then the fact that his daughter was on coke, and she said something key while they was in the basement. She said, that is after they let them back in the house. And you always train to be nice to them. They down in the basement of their house. And she said, now is not the time to give away your trust so freely. She said, especially to white people, and I'm sure moms would agree with that. And she wanted to make sure he stayed on code. And she told him to stay on code. And he said, I'm just being nice. She said, that's what I'm worried about. And I say that to say that we're gonna have to understand who's your friend and who's not. Because that's built in our mind. They know we are, though, bro. Huh?
They know we are. Now look at the scene where Julia Roberts and Mashar Ali was down there dancing.
Down there teaching Miss Ann how to dance.
And that energy that he had, that God energy, had her ready to commit adultery. And that wasn't even on his mind. He was just giving her some positive energy. But to the ice monkey, they look at the shit in a savage manner. So she just came out of her mouth and said she was married. That man wasn't thinking about her. The man was not thinking about her. You know what I'm saying? So the things, the process that is taking place with our destruction, man, we are major participants and major culprits and participants in it. And I'm talking strictly about these gatekeepers, sports analysts, you know, because when everything go down, you know, just say if that sound come, everybody holding their ears and, you know, they're not doing anything, then somebody may knock on Rebel's door. You know, and he may say, you know, what was you doing with your money? What was you doing before this took off? Oh, I was watching the football game. You know, or I was looking at the Soul Train Music Awards. This is the programming, man, that they have us under. Just the programming that they have us under. Just like these holidays. I don't knock anybody because, you know, we've all been there. We've all been in that spot. You know, and then a lot of people know that it's a ritual. This is a ritual. And they're willing to go through the ritual because they feel less than if they don't go out, max their credit cards out, you know, pawn everything in the house to get some gifts to some people that they really don't even have any contact with. That's a ritual. And when you were saying about when you were talking about how the parents ignore the children for the crack. Now you look at it today. The children ignore the parents because they upstairs under hypnosis.
Yeah, they
with
all
the
smoke.
PlayStation, the Xbox, and on Instagram and TikTok.
They all got crack.
Yes. See, this is why they didn't chip us in the hand.
Yeah.
Remember they was talking about putting that microchip in the hand? They don't have to do it now because once you got the phone, you already chipped. Because you got to use your fingerprint. You got to FaceTime.
The phone is the chip in the hand.
That's this
right.
Mark of the Beast right here.
Because it's in your hand.
When they was yelling about Obama phones and all that, they didn't get those phones away just to be giving it to you for the sake of communication.
This is gonna be my new phone.
That's right.
I see.
It's gonna be my new phone.
We all, we need to put in some. Yeah.
I tell people, I be prepared for real. Ain't no more faking and playing.
Right. You gotta have a scam.
Rock like that. I don't even rock like that. You know what I'm saying? I see the signs written on the wall. Yes, and I like the way everybody's path is different. And you know what? I like the path that happened to me the way it happened, from the streets to church, from church to Islam, from Islam to commerce, from commerce to knowledge, learning where we come from. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to get in tap and get in tune to what we supposed to be learning, what we're really supposed to be doing. I asked a guy who's supposed to be dealing with Kemet. I asked him what was the Kepera. He looked at me like I was crazy. You know what the Kepera is? He looked at me. I know I sound a little hood. I don't have proper English. I'm sorry. You know, my people from South Chicago, and I was born and I raised a little bit, and also in East St. Louis, Illinois. When I mean Kepera, I mean the dung beetle. We don't.
The beetle. Yeah.
The dung beetle. We don't. And these are names and things that we need to start using. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't know what it was. And I wasn't taking no shots at him. I didn't say nothing else about it. I just said, you know, we need to build sometime like that. And he took it as if I was like trying to tell him I could teach him something. Listen. I learned from Obasi. I learned from Shaka. You get what I'm saying? I learned from Rebel. Me and Rebel, everybody in my circle, I learned from them. And I take it and I utilize it. You get what I'm saying? I made a post, and my post is real. My job is not to wake up no more sheep. I don't give two flying fiddles about another sheep. My job is to bring light to more lions. If you're not even a lion, I'm not even really going to associate with you. No shape, form, or fashion. I'm telling you right now. I don't mess with sheeps. Sheeple will get you messed up. And then you look up, you didn't be the slaying the sheep because the sheep is weak. I ain't got time for that. My job is to wake up more lions. And we gotta move as such. All this other stuff is silly. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's
But see,
crazy,
that's
man.
where that because and the something you tapping on, man. See, the knowledge is to be the journey because you talked about all that. Listen, mine was the Black Power movement,
Yeah.
Rastafari for a little
Yes.
while. I grew up Hebrew. Then I went to Church of God in Christ. You know, like I said, they're Rastafari, they're African. Now at a higher level of knowledge, gnosis. The knowledge is to be appreciated and shared. And that's the competition that can't nobody tell you nothing. You automatically want to get in defense because that's the shaping of the programming. When they took it over and gave you stuff like Sinetta and they turned just corner ciphers into battles and Willie Lynch chip that now it's you against your brother and now you don't even like a person because he say he African. You don't even know nobody in Africa. Africa don't even like y'all. Tired of that.
That's true.
Goofy. That's goofy.
America either. America either.
Don't never look at that though, OG. Don't never
That's
look
true
at that.
too. That's true too. That's true too. Well,
That's the colonization, man. Because a lot of people say that when I'm building with people, a couple of people say, "There you go with that black shit." Okay, so what shit am I supposed to be talking about? The white shit got us in here. The white shit got us fucked up like we are now.
man, say that again. Say that again, man.
Mike on
Yeah.
that.
But you know,
they was talking. Here come Black Power. Here you go with that black shit.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
The white shit got you dressing like a fucking sissy, you know, and you got nothing. Your mind is at a deplorable level. You can't think. You're geared by music and clothes, sex. You know, you want to be the best dressed slave in the cotton field. You know, but anybody that's talking about leaving the plantation is out of order. Or you don't believe in God, or, you know, what are you, a Muslim? Anytime you even come out with something outside the normal context of this slave-minded thinking and dialogue, the first thing they say, you're a Muslim.
Muslim.
And that's what we got to get rid of. My thing is, man, to expose the people who are misleading those who are searching for truth. Because it's a lot of our people have caught on to what's going on and they looking for a way out. But when and they, you know, the Tyler Perrys and, you know, all these other people, the LeBron James, you have the same type of personalities and energies in the so-called conscious community. You have the same, it's the same thing, man. And that's why, you know, that system has to be tore down. But the only way we can destroy it in terms of false leadership is that it has to be a unification of people on a mass level, you know, to penetrate the walls of evil. And every time we do that, they come up with a plan. They use us to destroy us. And so the best thing, you know, for me, what I do personally, man, is, you know, be the best version of myself, circle and surround myself with real soldiers, real warriors, man, real gods, man, to reinforce the foundation that I'm building on, that I've developed,
right,
and to help others. Because this is a small group, man. Knowledge and Obasi, you know, we always building with Ken and others and Rebel, man. You know, but this type of stuff, they want to compartmentalize it. They want to dumb down the numbers. They want a
Yeah.
sense of viewing. They want a sense of what you say out your mouth now. You know,
Yeah.
and it has to come to a point. This is why I don't care what I say on Facebook. I don't care. I don't care. Because it's like this show here is documented history. And we may be ancestors before that right generation come through and actually pick up. Because if you look at the 60s, the 70s, 80s, and then when you had the 90s, where it was through hip hop, people started being conscious, little X-Clan, Public Enemy, and all them. Well, Public Enemy is like Public Enema now, you know. But when you had those particular, that particular period of absence of Black consciousness, that was like 2 generations. And so when those people transition, but they still left the blueprint. And now that we've come through, and we've been around for quite some time, and we've picked up the instruction manual on liberation, but we have to add our own energy into it because times have changed from then. This is why a lot of these organizations are so ineffective, because they trying to drive the same car from the 60s in the new millennium. And it's ineffective. It is very, very ineffective. We coming with a brand new wave of energy, a brand new frequency, more solid and concrete information. And we don't care about whose toes we step on. And see, that's another problem. That's why I say that the bite has been taken out of the Black man. But they worrying about tiptoeing around the truth and rather engulf themselves in falsehood. You know, not knowing that at some point when you transition, that heart is going to be weighed on them scales. And a lot of people are going to go to them scales with no soul. And so it's important that we continue to do what we're doing, because it's very, very important. This is documented history. This, no matter what happens, these bills and ciphers can never be erased in history. They can never be erased.
I like that cipher. I like that.
You know, and you know, a lot of times, man, we just got to keep grinding the axe. You got to keep grinding the axe, man. You know, because it's not about membership. It's not about viewership. It's about getting the message out. Because if you can, it can be the most hardcore, most disturbed individual, brother or sister on the planet. But this information and this energy will create some level of penetration in their hearts and souls, because they know it's the truth. But a lot of times, man, when you are so hardened under tyranny and imperialism, man, you know, that you've been beaten into submission mentally, physically, spiritually. You know, because these religions are the same way. They set trip, they put each other down, they engage in all these sex rituals. They do the same exact thing, man. They do the same exact thing. And so when the people that are abnormal to this society, such as us, we're looked at as abnormal because we're not thinking of the social norm. So we become abnormal. And that's what creates warriors. That's what creates leaders. That's what creates students. You know, that we remain teachable. Like I say, I learned from all of y'all. That's why I say now y'all have to do a lecture. You know, y'all have to do a lecture. And I've been doing this stuff for over 20 years. So I know when y'all speak, how it penetrates me and what I learned from it. I can only imagine and look at myself 20 years ago of how it would have affected me in a positive way to raise my vibratory frequency, to look at myself in a different form.
Right.
So, man, it's imperative, man. You know, we just can't give up. But like I'm with you on that, knocking on the door, asking for jelly and all this shit when this shit go down. I don't care who it is. If you're not in that circle,
Don't knock on
You
my
know, if you're
door.
not in that circle, man, I'm gonna take that joint and punish your ass. You know, you got a
That's
couple of seconds to get down them steps, you know, and find somewhere else, you know, because I'm telling you, man, it's going to get rough in 2024. And in closing, they got a movie coming out that probably has something to do with Leave the World Behind. It comes out spring 2024. It's called
yeah,
Civil War.
yeah,
Now, but guess what? This is how they play. The same week that comes out, around that same week, Beverly Hills Cop, Beverly Hills Sissy, that the sequel to that comes out too. So what's gonna be the box office smash?
Oh yeah, Scott.
Beverly Hills
yeah.
Cop.
That's the game they play. I'm telling you, when I start, when I shout out to Yusuf L. That's the guy that I started learning commerce from. I don't mind giving flowers, man,
That's right.
because a lot of people, say bad things about him and stuff like that. But he was doing this and doing that. That ain't the point. The point is the man put out solid information, and it goes to the point what you said. You said 20 years ago, if you would have heard something, it would have impacted you and had an effect on you. It Learning commerce from him had an effect on me because one of his things when he opened up his show, and this was back in the day, man, talk shoe and blog talk radio. He opened up the show, peace to the gods. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the gods. And that impacted me, knowing that, what I'm saying, the black man is God, dealing with the DNA and everything, coming from us. And I'm gonna say that again, everything coming from us. The Wazungu did not produce anything. Um, when I think about that in commerce, they play that game, and he taught me that. And he also taught me shock testing. Shock testing is when they raise the price of eggs to see what a group of people will buy, so they will know in the future what to affect when they deal with these prices and scenarios. And when I get to scenarios, Rockefeller has scenarios. I downloaded a few of them. He has scenarios where this COVID thing was a scenario that he put out. And the purpose of that particular scenario, I can email it to you guys, was for the powers that be, the 2-3% that run the world, they wanted to have more authoritarian power over the public citizens. And then they did it and devised it in such a way, whereas if you were the citizens and the public was asking for more authoritarian power over them. That's called the manipulation of the mind. And when you get to that, it goes back to what I'm saying is I'm listening. Meditation, sound vibration is real. Them attacking your lower chakras is real. Them keeping you at a low vi- vibrational frequency is real. That's how they able to move us. You know what I'm saying? Like checkers instead of trying to move us like chess where we strategize it. But I'm gonna tell you something. I learned this from a politician. I forgot his name. He said something to me. He said at a certain point in time, the powers that be was ready for COVID to go to the next phase as far as being over. They was displeased about two things. One, enough people was not getting vaccinated, and number two, once everything got out, it turned a lot of black men and women into natural herbalists. A lot of black men and women look at the stock market and look at medicine. They say it was success. No, it was success for that particular vaccine, but it was not a success when the medical industry, as far as medicine and the sales plummet, because a lot of people were into natural health and natural remedies. See, they don't like that. And they have set up the platform where they can watch those particular trends because of what we doing on social media social media and our buying power in the public, they watch that and they market that, and that's how they devise and do everything. So go to show what Shaka Sankofa said. This is how they strategically move us and put us in a bad position and keep us not unified.
Let me answer the cracker. You like to call it problem, reaction, solution. Problem, reaction, solution.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used
But it was on their terms, like Shaka said, on their terms. They created the problem, and when you read these Rockefeller scenarios, it's a scenario. It's a problem created. Say it again, Rebel. You said problem what?
reaction, solution.
Create the problem, get a reaction for the people, and the solution will always be catered to them because it's always something that they're trying to push as far as a particular agenda.
Yes, sir. It seemed to work when he used it because he do it on a grand scale, right? So he'll do 9/11, he'll do COVID. Like, there's some grand scale shit. Like, he ain't playing no games.
No, I ain't playing no games. But one thing I can say this, in all of those scenarios, Y2K, all this stuff, bird flu, swine flu, all this stuff,
So,
not the Wazungu. Let me say this, not the Wazungu,
so
but the black man has always figured it out. That's all I gotta say. That he has always figured it out. The black man and the black woman has figured it out. And that's why the scenarios are getting more in depth, more on a grander scale, more dealing with fear. You know what I'm saying? More pumping and priming, more dysfunctional. Us desensitizing us. Shaka talks about that, where they promote so much and put so much violence before us, it desensitizes us. I'm gonna just say like this: one, for a real God body, and I'm using God loosely because the word God was not created to 1750 AD. It's a it's a German word, Gato. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say this. For someone who's of a higher echelon and who is dealing with a higher esoteric school of thought, if I see my brother, one of my real brothers in trouble, I'm not going to be desensitized. I shall be mobilized. So you guys figure out the rest of that for the Wazungus. For our people, I shall be mobilized. I'm not going to be desensitized. I'm not going to be one of the ones when something happened, I'm sitting back behind, stop it, stop it, stop it. And I'm at that level right now. And I know my wife, you know what I'm saying, be kind of worried about me a little bit. All that George Floyd stuff, nah. Because I know during the time of the Khalid Muhammad, that wouldn't have happened. Guaranteed it wouldn't have happened like that. Guaranteed. I know the time of Malcolm X, that was not going down. And they taking all our heroes and turning us into zero. And I'm not saying no disrespect to nobody on here. We, in some shape, form, or fashion, the powers that be in this, you know what I'm saying, commercial system has put us in a zero spot. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had no great awakening or had no inkling in our mind for us to go search for higher knowledge and see the problem that goes on in our community that makes us want to do something different. Yeah, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of us, man, we got to get some soldiers, man. You know what I'm saying? Get some, my reactions, man. I don't even really want to be on reacting like that. We gotta get some soldiers. This stuff.
But you know what? In the soldiers, we got to become comfortable with confrontation. And confrontation is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's dealing with the inevitable. Because we got this notion that we could just clean up around the mess. And look, this cesspool gonna continue to go. After we go, it's gonna go. But we can't clean the whole thing up, but we can keep our area straight. We can keep our section straight. We know that we know that when people come here around these black men and women, we different. So we shouldn't be knowing brothers and sisters doing dirt and we riding with dirt. We turn our head. We know coming in, robbing the community. We said, hey, that's just how it is. That's why we not going nowhere. That's why the little homies don't know how to solve no problems. Because the brothers and sisters in the community is showing them how to get money and ignore the problem. Just like Deion Sanders. You come down into the hood, and this all they doing because like OG say, it's showbiz liberation. Showbiz everything. So you come down in the hood, you know, you give a good message, you come down to Garvey Day, you know, you sell your little book, you do whatever you do, you go on to the next city.
You talking about Deion Sanders?
Michael Jackson. Huh?
You talking about Deion Sanders?
No, I'm talking about in compared to the conscious community. But no, Deion in the same way. Deion in the same way because he came into Jackson, Mississippi just like an oil salesman, just like a preacher, just like a politician.
No, I heard you say Garvey Day. I say he ain't coming to Garvey Day.
No, I'm talking about these. I know
you're talking about.
Yeah,
say less.
You know what I'm saying? These show, like OG say, these showbiz liberators.
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
I'm saying that in the cleaning up the condition, because we've been speaking to the condition of us as a people.
Right.
So we still being looked at in that effed up, confused. They don't know the conscious from the unconscious because the conscious behaving just like them.
Man, that's bad, man.
Look, we making excuses for Charleston White. We making excuses for Umar. Umar has turned to a joke in the name of Pan-Africanism, but we don't want to deal with it because we say, hey, we can't stop it. Why can't we?
And you know what, man? I told him to cut you off, and I told this brother, man, that watched Umar, man. He said, you know, like people hate. I'm not hating. I'm just being for real though. But I'm just saying it like this, man. The man has been on the Breakfast Club and always on social media. He has a great following, man. When he did come down here for Garvey Day, there was a lot of people that came and wanted to hear him. That's the time that you're supposed to take up the right form of your financial literacy and show and tell, and really show the people and build something and give them that example. But at the same time, it's all about self. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can be you can sometimes you can deal with self, and sometimes you're not supposed to deal with self. Sometimes it's just for the edification and the manifestation to have that present before the people.
And see that's the thing. And see that's the thing. So so we talk about the big ones. What about so like and I think everybody that know us, we stop them small ones. We got to deal with the rats that's around us. You know what I'm saying? We got to, because they like cancers, they grow.
But they're set up like that, Obas. They're set up like that. See, this is why this social media allows them to push certain agendas. And so when they do make, and put them on major platforms and make them worldly known and put them on the Breakfast Club, these are ploys, and these are people that are used as ploys to suck in the masses of our people and give them false hope. Just like when Umar and others, when they do these lectures, people are not really interested in the message. They get some feel-good information, but they're more concerned about taking a photo op and getting a book signed by them. Because they feel as though that makes them feel like something, that puts them on some level of consciousness when you leading people, and not just to bang on Umar, but it's a ton of them, man, out here like that. Male and female,
we speak on him because he grabbed them colors. Because like I said, we love to talk about other cultures and how other cultures are in order. But you're not gonna make a fool of Mao Zedong. They're not gonna just have nobody out there pimping in the name of Mao Zedong. They're gonna stop that. We say, hey, that's hating. That's hating. Let him be. There's no consequence. There's no consequence.
None. And people will defend
anything because we're gonna ride with the popular. Because like you said, it make them feel like something just to be in there with the number one most requested, with number one this, number one that. Just like you said followers. Hey, they followed David Koresh, didn't they? They followed Charles Manson, didn't they? They followed Nature Boy, didn't they? They followed Pharaoh, didn't What we following? What we following these people to? Pied
You're
Piper.
following an illusion. It's an
Don't get me
illusion. It's
started
an
on the Pied
illusion.
Piper because you play that tune and it sound good. Oh, that it's a service because we didn't really go through a real purification process. We came up out of the church and we found Umar. That became he ain't nothing but the conscious TD Jakes. Come on in and give a good lecture.
Yeah, we
They can't
don't we
even
don't have
It's
no
the
rights of
same
passage.
thing, boss. It's the
huh?
same thing, man. It's the same thing because you look at the pastors,
Come
right?
on.
They go to seminary school. I call it cemetery. They go to cemetery school and they take a couple of Toastmaster classes, and
Couple of times
they
now.
recite those scriptures real good, and they come and they hypnotize and put our people under spell work. This is the same way with these so-called conscious scholars.
Yep.
They read a certain amount of books, take Toastmaster classes,
Yep.
get some online degrees,
Yep.
get their diction straight, and they be heavily mass influenced. These people, just think 20 years ago, man, none of these people didn't even exist. I know when I was with Steve Coakley and Dr. Carlin, none of these people existed, man.
None of them.
Look, but you know what's crazy is when you name them, they gave you references. I can remember listening to that Ishaka Musa Bar Shungo. That's a name right there. Ishaka Musa Bar Shungo. Listening to him on YouTube. The real scholars would give you references. They can't
Yes.
even tell you. They can't even tell you where they get that. They got you so blind. They got you thinking that they came up with this knowledge. That ain't nothing but Amos Wilson you biting. That ain't nothing but Dr. Savage. That ain't nothing but Lalea Africa that y'all biting. That ain't
And I'm
nothing
not
but
taking
John
nothing from them. I'm not taking from anything from a brother or sister that come into knowledge itself in recent years or a few years ago. But what is your agenda? What is the
No, I'm
goal?
taking from the
Why?
pimp.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
taking
yeah, yeah.
I'm taking something from them because the crime is not in the knowledge. The crime is the miseducation and the deception which you're using the knowledge for. Every black man and
Yeah.
woman got to get some knowledge and rise from niggas to gods.
Yeah, that's what Shaka's saying. Like, what's your agenda when you get this information?
Yeah. But
You
the
know what I'm
gods is
saying?
going to the niggas.
But
The
you
church at
know
least
what?
tell you that they stick. The church at least tell you getting stuck up. They run in your pockets on Sunday. At least they'll tell you and pull out the pans, the pistols, and run
Hit
your
that cash
pocket.
out.
At least they'll do that openly.
Hit that PayPal. Hit that cash out.
Hit the
Hit
cash.
that cash out.
That's true. And that's one thing I try to do, and especially because of the name, the elders gave me. I'm and Obasi, even right here now, I got my pad, my book right here. I'm always read, take your notes, and you got to give flowers what flowers do. You got to give out resource material. I get, I,
Gotta
I
give
said,
out
I just,
resources.
I sent out books. I gave somebody, I gave her brother 6 digital books today, and I always give
You
out
done gave
books,
me a
man.
couple. You done gave me
I,
a couple.
I always give out books, man, because one, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I just learned this. Oh, and I ain't got no YouTube degree, nigga. I mean, let me say what I was trying to stop
No,
saying
because
that
that's the
word.
appropriate direction for
Yeah,
you.
I don't have no, I ain't got no TikTok certificate. You know what I'm saying? And when I say we get together as a people, like we got together, I was with the Amana agree out. We was all built. You know what I'm saying? We had the elder there with his book. You know what I'm saying? Baba Baruti. You know what I'm saying? And we were building. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we do. We do that. I'm bragging. I'm bragging on our circle because we do that. Shaka do it, Obasi do it, I do it, Rebel do it. Rebel like, yo, you check this joint out. I want you talking about. He's like, yo, shut yourself, man. It's a good one. You know what I'm saying? We all do it. You know, we gotta give our resource material. That's very important. We can't sit up here and be like, something happens and all of that. But I will say this though. In this book right here, the mental netta, it says that knowledge enters the black man mind intuitively. But at the same time, I think that's dealing with the awakening. And I don't want nobody to take this out of context. Even though knowledge or some type of aha moment enters your mind, that means you got to put some water on that thing. You got to put some water on that thing. And if it's listening to Shaka, the OG, and he is and we say that word out of respect. Shaka Senko is an OG.
Right.
We ain't saying it like he's, that's what he is.
Like he's some old guy.
Yeah, he's no old
that's
guy.
An original gorilla.
He's a, and what I mean by that is he's someone you can call and talk to. We got other barbers and stuff that be around us. We can call and talk to them if we need some type of mental formation. If we about to go conscious psycholistic, I'm gonna use that word because sometimes it will get like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we build, and I do like that about us that we do give our resource material.
Right. And I just want to say about to go back on that this African and this Indian shit. I encourage people to get this book. This is a great Negro slave revolts. It's a good book. And if you look on page 221, it said, nevertheless, about 1,000 slaves, some mounted armed with clubs, Sky's homemade bayonets, and a few guns did appear at the agreed upon rendezvous 6 miles outside the city. I'm just saying that to say that, that 10 little Indian shit, man, I'm about fed up with that, man. I'm really about fed up with that. Yeah, we have a bloodline here, but why do we refuse to deal with the creator of civilization? Because I think that these people use this FBA and ADOS and all of this shit. I think that these people and the people that are pushing these agendas have large platforms, large following. And I think that they're being used as tools, and they know that they're being used as tools. Some have made agreements in exchange for paper to be a tool to prevent Pan-Africanism. Plain and simple.
Obasi said and
we got to come to
crazy.
Our solution, man. The only solution is unity and insurrection. That's the only. And when I say insurrection, it just don't mean against the Caucasians. No, we got greater enemies and more powerful enemies that look like you and I that have to be dealt with. You look at any history of insurrection, that they couldn't even get to the master's house because they were surrounded by house slaves that gave their lives, that fought, bled, and gave their lives to protect the slave owner. And so they have to be, it's certain ways that you can slay people. They have to be put out of commission. They have to be silenced in terms of social media. So our children, our grandchildren can have a shot and be comfortable with turning on a channel on social media and getting education. Real education, real knowledge of self, real uplifting, spiritual and mental vibratory frequency so they can reach their God, goddess itself, man. Because true. We, like Obasi said, we keep allowing this to go on without making any type of effort to try to combat this. And it's going to get worse and worse as long as we just dialogue without action.
Truth. Oh, man. So, if most of our people is on crack, how can the solution still be unity when the whole pattern mostly is off of a divisive, I guess, day-to-day divisive agreement? We all walk around in a singularity, right? So how could that big move ever happen when most people are still on crack?
Well, you know, the same solutions, even though they were unfortunate and kind of like to our demise, was the incarceration.
Mm.
And I'm talking about shutting people down, putting them, you know, shutting them down, locking them down in terms of, you know, exposing them, banning them, you know. But it's going to take a network, a large network of people, because you know, just say for instance, if it was 40,000 rebels, knowledge or bosses and shoppers on social media at one time, simultaneously. You got 40 or 50 independent shows like this going on at one time on social media. We would, you know, that we would be smashing people. We will be actually smashing people. And that's how you have to do. You have to expose them to the point where they don't want to show their face no more. But see, as long as we allow that stuff to happen, and then we sit back and criticize and critique these people, a lot of times, unfortunately, it brings their viewership up because, you know, this shit is drama driven, man. Our people love controversy and black on black shit. They enjoy that, man. And then the movies, athletes fighting on the court and all this type of shit, all this stuff plays a role, man, into the destruction, not of just us. I'm looking at the future generations, man. Because like I said, the bite has been taking out a lot of these black men, man. A lot of them through, they washed up, they don't want to leave the plantation. They're comfortable with slavery. They're comfortable using walkers, wheelchairs, and blowing fentanyl and talking about when they was locked up, how they was in charge of all the fucking oatmeal and, you know, talking about the goddamn Falcons and the Commanders. And, you know, a lot of them are done, man. A lot of them are done. But the babies, the youth.
And that's my part. Because when we talk past, we always talk about the adults, this adult situation. And like I said, this is why we got to get clear-minded on male and female relationships. See, because it's like you said, a lot of those sick elements, it's in the same fake African-centered community, conscious community, wherever that is, that we're not talking about. They're not seeing healthy relationships. Because, like I said, majority of the so-called soldiers are online denouncing women and talking about how bad women are. Most of the sisters are talking bad how bad we are. So what does that leave for the next generation? So if I got a small baby and I'm training mine right, who's she gonna interact with growing up? Because the dudes is telling their children, the little boys, not to trust women. We can't keep living in this space. We got to grow up. We can't keep living in this women are this is that. We got to understand that we got to start pointing into each other, or it's going to be no generation of children. They are already vastly homosexualized. They already thugged out. They don't fear nothing. I saw a video of a 22-year-old ballet teacher that was in tears, talking about little 5-year-old girls that she couldn't tell nothing. And the parents was just as worried. They want to listen to Pound Town.
I saw that.
5-year-old, how we, like the question I asked in the beginning, how we are being socialized in Western society. Because everybody get caught in their school of thought, oh, I'm Hebrew, or I'm African, or I'm this. No, we in trouble. That's what we in. Because we don't wake up and say it's done.
Straight up. But like I said, they use these people, man. These people are being used as tools. And if you look at those what the COINTELPRO, man. They say it's to create dissension among organizations, movements, and other conscious-minded rebels and urban guerrillas, man. You know, they're used to create dissension, controversy, beefing against one another, and spitting false hope. See, the information, you know, you can talk all that powerful information, you can be on code with everything, but if your motives are geared towards imperialism and an enslavement, mental enslavement, and the economic castration of the Black community, man, you're just as bad as Derek Chauvin and George Zimmer. You're just as bad. You just don't, you're using your mind instead of a pistol or your knee, you know, because you still got your knee on the people's neck. Or I'm going to come and replace the white man and give them the same thing. I'm gonna give them false hope, but I'm gonna put a little black twist on it. I'm gonna put a black twist on it. You know, and I'm gonna come with all my garb on, you know, and I'm gonna spit this rhetoric, you know, and I'm gonna break bread with the oppressor, and I'm gonna keep it moving. You know, 20-something years, you know, it's a whole lot of Black misleadership, man, that has to be exposed so others can live. So others can live, man. Yes. Because if not, it's just gonna be another generation being sucked into this world of illusion, man. And this showbiz liberation, man. You know, these pep talks and these rally the troop speeches with no substance, no solution, no action, like Rebel was saying, solutions, no solutions. You do a drive-by, you do a therapeutic drive-by with regurgitated information, and you leave the people with false hope. And it's a lot of them doing it. It's a lot of them doing that, and they catching on. And what that brother, what's his name? This brother just come out. He's supposed to be like a herbalist or whatever. Kaiki, what's his name?
Yeah. I know the Hebrew dude.
Man, I think I called Obasi and Kenwado. I was at work. And so a lady came and they said, y'all want to go and hear somebody talk about holistic. They doing something around the corner at this little ballroom. So I looked the name up, and this dude was charging up to $300 a seat, man. $300 a seat to tell somebody that they got how to eat turmeric and, you know, shit like that, man. Basic stuff, but we want to hear it because these people been on major platforms, and especially our sisters. Yep. You know, if a real revolutionary, yep, just like at the Garvey Festival, a real warrior would have got with the brothers. When I come to Atlanta, man, I come around y'all. I have to have this vibratory energy reinforced, man, and supported, man. You know, and the sisters, they look so vulnerable, man, you know, just to get a picture, man. And what's that going to say? You hang that picture up in your house just to say you've been with such and such. But y'all, you know, you got your picture hanging up in the living room, you know, with roaches and all this shit coming behind the picture frame. So it's no solution. There's no substance with that, man. And then now they have people trained that if you speak out against it and you speak boldly and strongly against it, then now you hating. Man, damn that shit.
Facts. The bottom line is we need more troops, like somebody said. But the troops come with you shaping yourself. Although there aren't too many examples of what we had, the true minds and the true blood that was trying to carry on tradition. You still got to be a little iller than the regular pattern to think that is just Instagram or Facebook. You got to have a little more intuition about going a little deeper to find the true source codes to some of this information. Because when I look, I don't even know how anybody follows any of these weirdos. From where we from, the revolution wouldn't be televised. That shit was real. You won't see it on wax. What we do is hardly on wax. So whoever's on wax the most gotta be fake. But the world sees them as the realest because they're on wax. So the whole crack form, that's what I'm calling it. It's not a platform. It's a crack form. That crack form of the internet gives false prestige to whoever steps on stage. It's not even conscious, though. If you could put out music and get overhyped, you could be in a little show or some kind of depiction and get props. You could be in a commercial. You could take a picture with Dr. Umar and then put it on your Facebook, and now all your friends kind of treat you like you know Omar, like you know Umar. So that whole
You had it right, Omar.
that whole 6 degrees of separation is in reverse, is spreading the poison. So, I don't know, man. Look, if you listening to this show, the way to truly get conscious is to go to the source. So you got to go back to the future. If you ask Reb, I'm sure brothers would agree. So you
Dr.
should
Ben.
you should go to the scholars when we were really scholars, and then make your way back to the present, and then you'll know who's who when you
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because you know, like when I was coming through, man, it was Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Walter Williams, Dale Jones.
Yes.
I'm talking about Steve Coakley. I'm talking about real scholars, real warriors, man, real in the trenches, man.
Yep.
You know, that I actually saw them, with the exception of Dr. Clark. But the rest of them, I physically saw these people, man, and they were true. I'm talking about completely true and honest, man. And then all of a sudden, and if people know the history of Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark in the Schomburg Library, they used to pay people 25 cents to come into the lectures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, paid
They used to stand outside and have somebody hand out quarters for them to come into the lectures.
And they used to battle the white man all day.
All day.
Viciously.
Intellectual smashing.
Beat them down.
So if we wanted to know if we was the real Israelites, the true scholarship debate we got on wax. Who's the original Egyptians? Even a little mask to the original American blacks. So I'm just saying they used to war with the white man over this intellectual prowess, and that's what made it more real. We were actually fighting the world for that perceptional supremacy. This shit is real.
Yeah.
That's why I say unification.
Now you got it after, we wouldn't have to worry if we the real Jews. If our scholars were real and we was truly in that old school learning level, nobody would be able to fuck with us. It's 223. All the info is here. We should win every debate. We should be winning every debate when it comes to the world and who we are in it. And what happened to us. Our blueprint is everywhere. Look, save us. If you out there watching this, you see what we talking about. Shaka alluded to maybe we won't even be here when that generation actually wakes up. But one of y'all gotta wake up. You know what I mean? We some of the last ones left. So I wanted to see it, honestly, in my
Me
life.
too.
We'll see a portion of it, but not in its entirety.
We seeing a lot of wins, no doubt. You can see the
Yeah,
work.
I mean it's you see little small stuff, man, but I mean,
But to get triple black again, yeah, I don't know. Because the way I was talking, the device, it's a counterpart to if Knowledge say his grandmother said he got Indian in his family and he want to rep indigenous America. The pattern the white man threw in is the division. So now Knowledge got to diss Africa. He don't just come in the room and say, yo, y'all know I'm indigenous American blood, right? I'm like the real Indian. They get him to, he got to come in the room and say, yo, fuck that. We not African. See the disrespect in the divide, that shit was put in there because what if everybody else, what if everybody is right? What if it play off percentage? What if 10% of us do have indigenous American blood, and 90% of us have African blood, direct source coded? Why are we arguing?
there is really no argument. You know what I'm saying? You I don't know. To me, is what Shaka said. Um, when everybody started talking about going to Africa, being Pan African, now they saying America's Africa. And I'm gonna be honest with you, my grandmother, she had Indian, she had long hair. She
Okay.
used to she used to swoosh her hair to the back and put it in the ponytail. You know, until she got older, and she kind of got those Indian features or whatever, you know. But I'm not walking around here talking about that. I'm talking about what I learned as far as facts, and what I'm learning as far as what's written on these walls. You know what I'm saying? And somebody, talk certain things and be like certain people be hating. I don't have to hate. Truthfully, I don't. I form my own situation, my own platform. I build who I want to build with, and I build with people that are like minded as such as me. And then I create spaces where as if I'm telling people the truth. I'm passing out the source material as far as like what I read and how I come come to be as far as the knowledge that I do have. A lot of people not gonna do that because they don't really care. They just gonna say I'm right, you wrong, and debate you and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about us, we can disagree and agree and still be agreeable. We brothers. I'm not trying to stab Rebel in the back. I'm not trying to stab Shaka Sankofa in the back. Nobody in my circle. I don't rock like that. But I do learn from the point of, okay, if I don't disagree with one of my brothers in the group, we will build on that. Like, like how did you come up with your solution or your, you know what I'm saying? What we don't disagree about. And we just learn from it. Because all of us come from different schools of thoughts. All of us come from a different path to bring us into enlightenment and knowledge of self. Everybody don't have the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And definitely we don't have no rites of passage. You know what I'm saying? We getting this from the elders. We getting this and we getting it from the point where we studying, we researching, you know.
The difference between us and I think what y'all see on the internet all day, that's why I don't ever be on the internet. We sat down and put years in of study.
Yeah.
Like we sat at the feet. We still don't think we the master teachers.
Nah, not by a long shot.
We gonna stay at the feet, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and I don't care what my name say, not by a long shot. I'm here to learn, to help my people,
watch this.
embrace my brothers and my sisters.
Watch
You know
this.
what I'm saying?
Knowledge got over 10, 15 years doing what he doing, right? There's somebody right now who been awake 1 year who talk more boastful and erratic than knowledge about the accumulation of their knowledge.
In 1 year?
Right.
Man,
That's
these
really
people
rough.
crazy, man. I'm telling you, these people crazy.
You
I'm
know, I be
serious.
hearing people claim a whole bunch of shit.
Hey, Shocker, I be getting people inboxing me, man. You hear me? They think they see me like, okay, let's debate, let's challenge. I don't rock like that, man.
I don't
I don't
debate, man.
I don't do that. I'm here to learn, and what I do learn, to teach, embrace the planet, what planet we do have, because we are students of nature, and to protect our people. You get what I'm saying? We respect one another. We respect each other, wives, queens, goddesses, whatever you want to call them, as such. We ain't into that funny bunny stuff, that funny stuff, none of that stuff. We into building, unifying, edifying, and presenting in a fashion where we all can manifest from it. You get what I'm saying? These guys be inboxing me, man. It's just retarded. You know, I'm not here to debate you or none of that. I don't care. Even though I speak from different schools of thoughts, but that's just what I learned from. You get what I'm saying? You know, I got some people thought I was Islam. Some people thought I was this and that. The whole truth of the matter is my school of thought is me basing off of Kemet, where we come from. And I take
Yep.
that and I take that and I build from that. You know what I'm saying? But they do something different. I'm not doing that.
Get off the internet. That's my new slogan. It was my old slogan for years, but I'm gonna push it now. Get off the internet.
Yeah,
Yo,
we do.
we had time, man. Powerful show. Your brother's always busted down. I hope the people who watch it go research some of the things you heard, but pay attention to the wisdom. You know what I'm saying? These brothers already climbed the hill. So you don't got to make all the mistakes on the board. You can skip a lot of mistakes if you just learn to listen.
That's
So
true.
powerful, powerful. That hat is fire. It look like the Knicks colors, man. I got a jersey match that
What'd you say?
to that hat. That's the Knick
It's
color.
it's black and red. I got something for you, man. I got something for you. I got something for all the brothers too, man. You know, I'm finna drop the new line soon, so it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I'm just building, man, and focus, and just, you know, I'm in a space now this year where I'm gonna be
Yeah,
doing a lot of building, man. A lot of building. I'm already in the community. I'm be more into the community because I believe my presence is needed, you know, and the Hollywood of the community gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I want the people to see the real, you know, all that other
we
stuff.
coming outside this year
What'd you
more
say,
than ever.
brother?
Say we coming outside this year more than ever.
Yeah, we already be
Oh,
outside. I'm
yeah.
coming on
Well, I
more.
said more than ever. That's why I
Yeah, I
from
was I was I was just out there like 2-3 days straight, man. I seen a lot of people, man, you know, holiday and everything. But I had a few Hebrews hating on me. It's cool.
nah, yeah, we was doing a
That lets
little
you know you're doing work. So
different.
we having something. I think we having another conference on the 20th of January. It's going to be monthly conferences. We didn't do one this month because I had got a little ill, but we did one in November. We got one coming up in January. I believe it's going to be on the 20th. So, you know, you always know, y'all already know, y'all have a carte blanche. You know, I'm going to put out the flyers, and if by chance you're able to make it, you can be on the flyers. It's a live Facebook Live conference.
All right,
We gotta
yeah,
make it down there.
yeah, we might have to.
That's the whole point.
We gotta
You
get to
said on the
that.
20th. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm supposed to be
Yep.
in Vegas on the 13th. So I'm if I can't make it, I'm definitely be on live the whole time.
Yeah. It's gonna be monthly. It's gonna be
Okay,
monthly,
cool,
and then
cool.
hopefully we might be in ATL either sometime next month or February, within the next couple of months, we'll be back down there to link up with y'all.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
being
But
on the 13th. My boy getting one of my business partner, Paul Muhammad, he getting married.
Salute.
okay. Yes, sir.
Blessing.
So
Yeah.
I got the roll now, brothers. It's been
All right, man. Peace and
always a
power,
pleasure,
peace and
man.
light.
General, give out your info for the people real quick.
I can give you my number is 202-294-7831. You can always reach me 24/7. And you can also reach me at Tashaka Kareem Sankofa at gmail.com. Or you can hit me on my Facebook on Tashaka Sankofa.
Much
Yeah,
respect.
y'all catch me on Instagram, Facebook at Vocal Dialect, VOKALDIALECT. We got the Vocal Dialect podcast coming. It's gonna be a great experience. And it is a brother company of Rebels Roundtable, and it is a brother company of Shaka Sankofa. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't no other stuff, whatever. You can also check out my apparel, Aesthetics Apparel, ESTACTIKS Apparel, on Instagram as well as Facebook. I like what Shaka just did, giving out his number. I learned giving out my number from Professor Griff. You know, when I first ran into Griff, he gave out his real number, man. I called. I said, He said, yeah, this is me, my brother Peace. He gave out his real phone number. You know, that's powerful. They let you know that we have nothing to hide. You know what I'm saying? You can reach me 404-913-7165. We have nothing to hide. We're real people. You call us, we're gonna give you real answers.
Yes, sir.
You see, I got I'm rocking the
That's
KNS.
Shazam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
yeah.
Shablam.
That's Shazam.
Salute to Kimwado.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Reach Rebel Vision Television. We just gonna keep it on this. Rebel Vision Television, we got Think Champs. We're gonna do the last episode this week of the year. We should have another Rebels Roundtable next Thursday to end the year. So we're gonna do that. We might go live on New Year's, depending where we at. So stay tuned.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you doing the last episode of Think Champs?
One day this week coming up.
Man, let me know, man. I'm pulling up, man. I was just at Roz too, man. Got to play the food and everything.
Yeah, yeah. Salute to Ross Isis, man. Vegan Dream Donuts, West End. Go get you the illest donut ever.
Yeah.
And it's up to Ross. It's always a building there. So yeah, Rebel Vision Television, we coming. Vocal Dialect you said you got a new podcast coming. Possibly be on the channel, Rebel Vision Television. And
Yeah.
I still got the Elders Square or the Elders Council for Shaka and a few of the OG God bodies. So this year we're gonna do a lot of iller stuff, man. We're gonna really put
We
ourselves
is.
up and really create a lot of different angles to what we all trying to do. So it's gonna be beautiful, yo. When
Gonna be
it's
beautiful, man.
it's gonna look beautiful, powerful too. So I'm with all of it. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
White fellas,
Yes, sir.
peace, man.
And I don't know
Peace.
if Obasi's still here, but Obasi just be around. I told you, say his name, he just be behind you, ready to save your ass. So just say
12:01 a.m., 12:07 a.m. All right, fellas, y'all be smooth, man. Peace and power, peace and love, peace and light, man. I love y'all, man, for real. Stay
yeah,
positive,
brother.
stay focused, and you know what I'm saying. Always keep be aware of your surroundings, man. Shalom.
yeah, we out of
Peace.
us. The revolution won't be televised. Get off the internet.